Dustin Williams here with Precision Fitness, bringing you workout number 2 from our holiday survival guide. In workout number 2, we are actually going to be doing 40 seconds of work followed by 20 seconds of rest. We'll be doing 5 different rounds in this, 5 different exercises. So to get started off, we're going to go over exercise number 1, in which you're going to be doing what's called an in and out squat. So in the in and out squat, it's a little bit different. Most squats, we want you to come all the way down to parallel, to where your thighs are parallel with the floor. In an in and out squat, you're really only doing about a half squat. So in the in and out squat, you're going to drop down into a half squat position. Stay down real low, make sure that the hips are pushed back and the chest is up tall. From this position, you are just going to jump your feet in and out like you are doing a jumping jack. So you're here, you can do whatever you want with your hands, hold them straight up, hold them here, back into a prisoner position, whatever you prefer, and then jump in and out. Making sure that your knees stay out wide the whole time. Whenever you come in, you don't want your knees to cave in. This right here puts a lot of pressure on the interior part of the knee, so make sure that these knees stay pushed out as you're doing these in and out squats, and stay down low the whole time. So the lower you can get, if you can actually get into a full squat position, that'll work as well. So drop down as low as you can. That's your in and out squat. If you want to go to exercise number 2 after that one, you're going to do what's called a single arm band row. As I discussed earlier, everything in the holiday survival guide is all body weight and band work. So showing you how you can do everything you need between those two. In the single arm band row, again, you need to find something that you can anchor it to, potentially a doorknob or a dresser or anything that you've got at the house that you can wrap this band around that's plenty heavy that you're not going to drag around. The best way to do it, wrap it around it, and then take the band and pull it through, and then pull it tight. So in video number 1, I showed how to do a 2-arm band row. Now we're going to move to a single arm band row. So it's essentially the same exercise, you're just doing it with 1 arm instead of with 2 arms. So whenever you do this, you'll grab it with just the 1 arm, step back, and you're going to go into that full row position. It's really important that you keep your chest out, shoulder blades back, rib cage down and tight. You're going to pull back, squeeze the shoulder blade real tight, let the arm come all the way forward, but keep this shoulder packed back in position. Don't let your shoulder round off forward. Got to keep the chest out and shoulders back. Pull back and squeeze. A lot of times people that do this exercise tend to kind of want to rotate their body as they're doing it. It's really important that you stay real tight in position. Pull back, get that good squeeze in of the shoulder blade, and relax and pull back. Keep going through that motion. You will do this the whole 40 seconds, and every time you come back through for the next cycle, you'll switch over to the other arm. Exercise number 3, you're going into a reverse lunge, in which you will be alternating legs. So in a reverse lunge, you're going to start in a neutral position, and you're going to step 1 foot back as if you're getting down on 1 knee without actually putting the knee on the floor, and then standing back up to a neutral position. It's really important that you stay up real tall the whole time. You need to tighten down your abs every time and make sure that you aren't pushing your butt out. So staying up tall, reverse lunge down, step back forward. You're stepping more forward through this front heel than you are through any other part of the body. Staying up real tall, make sure that the toes are pointing forward. In this one, we're doing an alternating. So you're going to switch legs every single time you come down. Alternating lunges. Show you from a side view, staying up real tall. Again, making sure that you don't push your butt out. This is what a lot of people tend to want to do, push the butt out and bend over. Stay up real tall whenever you do these lunges, and alternate legs through the whole thing. The next exercise we'll go to is a push-up. All right, most people are very familiar with a push-up. You're going to drop into the push-up position. Make sure that your elbows stay real tight. A lot of people want to flare the elbows out whenever they do a push-up. That puts a lot of strain and pressure on your rotator cuffs. So make sure to keep the elbows real tight to the body. And make sure that your body is solid like a board. Don't let your hips sink down when you do a push-up. It's very important that you do that. In order to make a push-up easier or tougher, do not drop to your knees. All right? When you drop to your knees, you take the core completely out of the push-up. So if you are incapable of doing a push-up off the floor, you can always increase your angle. So you can put your hands up on a table, you can put your hands on a dresser, something along those lines, so that instead of being parallel with the floor, you're actually up at more of a 45-degree angle, allowing you to be able to do a full push-up. So in the push-up, drop down again, as I talked about before. Make sure that your body is solid like a board. Tighten up your abs, squeeze out your glutes, your butt muscles to keep everything nice and locked in. Keep the elbows real tight to the body. Drop down to at least 90 degrees. Push back up and lock out. Making sure that the body stays tight and locked out. Don't let your hips sag down while you're trying to do these. All right, keep everything out, and don't let your elbows flare, as again, that's hard on your rotators. So bring the elbows tight back down towards the body. So there's your push-up. The final exercise we'll go over is a burpee. People that do burpees on the floor, it's very, very hard for people to get that low with proper form. So a lot of times if you have anything that you can use, some type of a box or anything along those lines, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to do the exercise. You can do them on the floor if you don't have a box. You just may have to slow down a little bit. One of the ways that people mess up burpees the most is in order to get down to the floor, they tend to just completely bend over. That's the type of movement we want to get away from. We don't want to put any pressure on the lower back. So anytime that you are doing a burpee, you're actually squatting down to the ground, not actually bending over. That's where a box can come in very handy, where a lot of people struggle to actually squat all the way to the floor. Here, if you step up to the box, keep your feet nice and wide, squat down and put your hands on the box, that's much easier. From here, you're going to jump out, block out the abs, jump back up, and stand up out of the position. It's real important that you squat down, and when you jump back, you squat up. So don't be using the lower back in this motion. Use your hips the whole time. So again, wide feet when you squat makes it much easier. Squat down, put your hands on here, jump to a full push-up position. When you jump out, again, don't let your hips sag down. Stay up tall. Jump back up, use your hips to stand up out of the burpee position. So there's workout number 2 for our holiday survival guide.